Hello, this is Ernie again, and in this video we'll take a high-level look at what Christianity was like in the 16th century. We'll focus on the Protestant Rebellion, as I call it, rather than Reformation, and I'll explain why that is in this video. So let's just get started. In my last video, I discussed what Christianity looked like between the 6th and 12th centuries. Well, over the next 400 years, the church continued to deal with heresies, the main one being the Protestant Rebellion in the 16th century. Now, I'm not trying to be cute here with my words. I just think that the term Reformation just doesn't describe what really happened, the rebelling against the authority of the church. The term rebellion is more accurate in my mind because the foundational elements to Protestantism was not to reform the church, but to renounce and disobey the centuries-long established authority of the church. They did this in three ways. First, by stating the Bible alone, rather than the church, has authority. Then, by removing 7 books from the only Bible at the time, the Vulgate. And finally, by introducing the thought that the Bible could and should be interpreted by individuals rather than the church. This isn't reform, but a brand new form of Christianity. All things that weren't believed up until the early 15th century and formulated a century later. For about 1400 years, we had a church that authoritatively decreed objective truth from falsehood. Then the Protestants introduced a new belief system where truth became subjective based on how an individual interpreted the Bible. Only a few years after this new belief system was introduced, one of the founders, Martin Luther, lamented that there are as many sects as there are heads, meaning that everyone is interpreting the Bible differently according to their own whims and comfort level. And that's why we have so many Protestant denominations all claiming they teach the truth today. But what did Luther expect? I mean, even the Protestant founders themselves, Martin Luther, John Calvin, and Huldrych Zwingli, couldn't agree on truth. The Eucharist, free will, infant baptism, and Mary were some of the beliefs that divided them. Here are just a few examples of what they had to say about each other, and it's brutal. Luther called those who disagreed with him loathsome fanatics and a hyper-bedeviled heart and lying tongue. Zwingli, in essence, called Luther an impure idiot, and Calvin called Lutheranism evil and his hope that it gained no ground. Truth was no longer an objective thing, but rather what anyone thought it was. The belief that an individual could personally interpret the Bible correctly was not only obviously silly and foolish, but more importantly, it led from its very beginning to a watering down of the truth and acceptance of falsehood. And the sad irony is that they were fighting against the church's teachings that they had authority and infallibility in interpreting Scripture, only to replace it with another infallible source themselves. Madness. And what you're left with is multiple versions of the truth in Protestantism. An unbroken chain of truth for 1500 years with the Catholic Church versus truth according to whatever a person felt was the truth, according to how they interpreted the Bible, which is Protestantism. The one holy Catholic Apostolic Church has had to fight off many man-made heresies since Pentecost. Protestantism is just one of the many. Truth to a Catholic in the 16th century is truth to a Catholic today. That's pretty darn powerful. Hopefully this short video will motivate you to dig deeper and go deeper in your research, do more of it about the Catholic faith. God bless you on your faith journey as a Catholic or in becoming one.